So it's no secret that COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted events on the country's calendar, including elections. By-elections due in March this year had to be halted, but voter registration will be held this weekend for 96 municipal ward by-elections scheduled to take place on the 11th of November. The Independent Electoral Commission is pulling out all the stops to ensure that registration runs smoothly tomorrow and Sunday. Mawethu Mosery is the Deputy Chief Electoral Officer at the Independent Electoral Commission and joins me now. Very good evening to you and thank you so much for speaking to us. Let's first start with practically how you're going to observe this, the lifting of restrictions on political activities to not only ensure that elections don't become a safety hazard, but including the registration drive as well. Mr. Mosery, are you with us?
I'm with you, Tsepiso. Good evening and good evening to your viewers. I got part of your question, so the portion that I didn't get, I hope you will come back to me. We certainly have put measures in place, first to protect all the personnel that will assist us at the voting stations. Secondly, we've put measures in place where we are saying voters have a duty to protect themselves throughout the registration process tomorrow. One of those things we are asking our voters to do is to wear their masks. Secondly, to ensure that they maintain social distancing whilst they are in a queue to go into the voting station. And thirdly, we are saying we will provide sanitizers at voting stations, and they must ensure that they sanitize before they go in and when they leave the voting station tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are checking whether our names are on the voters' roll and also registering if your name is not on the roll. We are also updating the address. Remember, the matter we have been dealing with since 2016 of the voters' address on the voters' roll is very much still a priority for us as the Electoral Commission. And over this weekend, for the 96 wards in the country, we need to have voters to come and update their addresses.
Allow me to ask this, given the fact that there is a backlog, won't it be a challenge holding all vacant ward by-elections simultaneously on the 11th of November, especially given the fact that there are over 600,000 registered voters?
We always take every election process to have a measure of challenge, but in this instance, it is not equal to a general election where we manage over 23,000 voting stations. In this case, we're managing just over 500 voting stations. It should be possible for us as the Electoral Commission, with the participation of political parties and voters, to have a smooth process of registration.
So will you still have arrangements for special votes like you would in a normal provincial or national election in order to at least minimize the number of people who will have to be forced to social distance?
Yes, our measures to accommodate special votes are still in place. We are going to encourage those who are unable to go to voting stations on voting day on the 11th to apply. They must do so before the date of voting, the date that we will announce, and we will administer special votes on the 10th of November, and we will visit those individuals who are approved at their homes or where they are housed before the election date to access their special votes. And again, during special votes, we will be expecting adherence to protection on the spread of the virus or possible spread of the virus on those.
I believe one of those safety measures is encouraging people to bring their own pens so that they mark the ballot papers. But I mean, I think in any work environment or any environment, we know what happens to pens. So what happens if you don't have your own pen? Will there be enough resources to make sure that the ones that are available are sanitized? And will that also slow down the process?
Well, we are expecting voters to sanitize as they enter the voting station. We are encouraging them to bring their own pens, but for their own comfort, that the pen I am using cannot be contaminated because I brought it from home. But certainly we will be providing pens, we will be sanitizing as much as we can, as well as the environment where we will be working on voting day will continuously be sanitized and maintained as pure as possible.
Just a quick and final question. Any word on the local government elections that were expected in 2021? What is the status of that?
Well, our planning for the general election of local government is underway as the Electoral Commission. As scheduled, the 5-year term ends on the 3rd of August next year, and we have 90 days from that date to hold the election. Obviously, the authority of the actual election day rests with the Minister of Culture, but in terms of us as the Electoral Commission, our planning is underway. We have just received the first batch of ward demarcation from the demarcation board, and we are finalizing the voting station locations. We received the next batch at the end of November. So by end of January, we will have the full network of voting stations, as well as all procurement of materials required for the voting day. We are underway now in acquiring and procuring those items. Obviously, our new voter registration machine is also in procurement, and we hope to conclude that very soon.
All right.
So we are a comfortable space now in the preparation episode.
All right, thank you so much, Mawethu Mosery, the Deputy Chief Electoral Officer at the Independent Electoral Commission.